one of the most exciting models to work with.
Okay. So the business model is probably the single most important organizing principle in all of business. And if you think of the great wealth that has been created throughout the history of business, organizations that designed innovative new business models were the ones that became household names that your grandmother knew. Okay? And so business models have evolved. And they've evolved dramatically since the age of the web and since the world of mobile and social. For many, many decades, for many generations, for many centuries, it was always about, what happened inside the four walls of my organization. My employees were the people that were responsible for creating innovation and creating intellectual property. And then the web changed everything. And all of a sudden, we can easily collaborate with anybody that we want to. Now, that puts the fear of God into a lot of companies. A lot of companies culturally are very arrogant and they're very complacent, and they just don't believe there's anything that they can learn from other people. But there is no question, if you look at an organization like Red Hat as one quick example, just acquired by IBM for 34 billion USD, 1/3 of the enterprise value of IBM. Why did IBM buy Red Hat? Well, the simple answer is they wanted to accelerate their ability to play in the cloud. But the much more strategic answer is Red Hat innovates in the open. Okay, they are a pioneer in an open business model. They are one of the leading forces in open source. And their CEO wrote a book called The Open Enterprise. And so to me, the open enterprise today is the business model, right? We're moving away from an era where we can believe that only our employees have the ability to innovate. I believe that everybody on this planet has something to contribute, and I want to be able to tap into the collective wisdom, the collective creativity, the collective innovation capacity of as many people as possible. And so open business models allow that to happen. What's amazing, and I think it's a very important thing for Silicon Valley to understand, is that a lot of the business models that I'm sharing with my students, both in my classroom and here at the hackathon, have not originated in Silicon Valley. I'm talking about Chinese companies like Xiaomi, which is a company that is ostensibly a phone manufacturer. But they're so much more than that. They're a company that is all about the Internet of Things. And their business model has empowered even their engineers to go off and without any permission at all, make venture capital investments of up to 3 million USD in startups to begin to build out their ecosystem. Haier, which is a appliance company, they make refrigerators and washing machines and dryers, has this massively, radically innovative business model where within the organization they have some core platforms, but then they have all of these micro enterprises where every one of their employees is basically told, you are the CEO of your own enterprise. Figure out how to create value within our massive ecosystem. Atlassian, an Australian company that uses hackathons to do everything from hire employees to onboard employees, to bring in innovation from the outside world and their own people to continue to build their product sets and create new products. And then finally, Waze, right? Waze was an Israeli company. They were acquired by Google. Everybody that drives and cares about commuting in traffic and wondering about being pulled over by the police or where construction is uses Waze. Waze is a social map. Waze leverages 300,000 citizen drivers to keep its map completely up to date. When Waze was acquired by Google, it had 11 employees. It was acquired for 1.1 billion USD. Why? It wasn't for the asset value of the company, it was for the business model. And then the last one I'll mention is, in the world of consumer, right? So we have direct to consumer now. So somebody like Dollar Shave Club, right? A very open business model, and they were bought by Unilever for over $1 billion, again, to teach Unilever how to create these new next generation business models. So the business model is the durable form of competitive advantage, right? The underlying products and capabilities, they're going to be turned over constantly. So when I think about business models, to me, this is where I want my students, my mentees, the startup boards that I'm on, the founders, this is where I want them to put most of their energy. Okay?
Great.
So that's one. You can tell I'm a little passionate.